And I want all of our young people to be empowered like that. You know, particularly we look at the young black males in America. Many people say the young black male in America is an endangered species because look at the homicide rates in our major cities. Look how many people are involved in the justice system. And it's just not a good situation for us at all. But anybody who's been in education knows that, you know, the young black males, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, they're good students just like everybody else, cooperative and nice. And then as they start getting a little older, that peer pressure thing starts to kick in. And then, you know, they start reading their American history book and they notice there's nobody who looks like them who really contributed to the greatness of this nation. And they say, well, maybe next year when I take world history, but next year they take world history, the same thing happens. And everybody wants to know, where do they fit in? What did their ancestors do? And then they come home and they turn the TV on. Oh, there we are, playing basketball, baseball, football, rapping in those baggy pants, acting a fool on some sitcom. You begin to gain a very different impression of what success for you means. But by the time they realize they're not going to be the next Michael Jordan or Puffy Daddy or somebody like that. I know what his real name is. Okay. But by that time, you know, what's left? What's left? Up drives this big black Mercedes with tinted glass, and out steps this tall guy with jewels and furs and women. Want to be like me? I can show you how to get all this stuff. Plus, that society has sold you a bill of goods. They owe you. The next thing you know, you're looking at TV, the 6 o'clock news, you see a young man being led away in handcuffs trying to shield his face. You say, that looks like little Johnny. What happened? He was such a good boy. What did happen? Indeed, it happens dozens of times every day in this country. Little Johnny's going the wrong way, getting the wrong impression. And it never had to happen because any of us could have taken little Johnny by the hand when he was 6 years old and walked down the streets of New York or any other city and given him a black history lesson he would have never forgotten. You could have started by pointing to his shoes and saying it was Jan Matzliger, a black man who invented the automatic shoe lasting machine, revolutionized the shoe industry throughout the world. Step on that clean street. Charles Brooks, a black man, invented the street sweeper, those machines with the big brushes. Down that street comes a big refrigerated tractor-trailer truck. Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the refrigeration system for trucks, later adopted for airplanes, trains, and boats. It comes to a stop at the red light. Garrett Morgan, a black man, invented the traffic signal. And you can also tell how he invented the gas mask, saved lots of lives during the war. And while you're talking about the war, Henrietta Bradbury, a black woman who invented the underwater cannon, made it possible to launch torpedoes from submarines. And you'll see a beautiful black woman walking down the street. A black man did not invent her, but you can use that opportunity to talk about Madam C.J. Walker, a black woman who invented cosmetic products for women of dark complexion, was the first woman of any nationality in this country to become a millionaire on her own efforts. And you walk past the hospital, Charles Drew, his contributions to blood banking, understanding the function of blood plasma. Daniel Hale Williams, the first successful open heart surgery in the world, operative mortality rate less than 1.5%. You look up at the surgical light, Thomas Edison, you didn't know he was black, did you? Well, he wasn't. But his right-hand man, Lewis Latimer, was. And you can tell how Lewis Latimer came up with the filament that made the light bulb work for more than 2 or 3 days. How he invented the electric lamp, pioneering work in incandescent fluorescent lighting. Diagrammed the telephone for Alexander Graham Bell. Was a tremendous inventor in his own right. Most people have never even heard of him. You walk past the railroad tracks. Andrew Beard, the automatic railroad car coupler, spurred on the Industrial Revolution. Elijah McCoy, the automatic lubrication system for locomotive engines. He had so many inventions. When something would come out, people would say, is that a McCoy? Is that the real McCoy? You got racist people like David Duke talking about the real McCoy, don't even know who they're paying homage to. And I'm just barely scratching the surface. Now, so you can see that young man has no reason to doubt that his ancestors played an important role in the establishment of this nation, and he should feel fully a part of this nation and should work very hard to strengthen the fabric of this nation.